In a quiet village by the edge of the desert, there lived a young man named Yasin. Yasin was known for his devotion to his faith and his unwavering trust in Allah. He began each day with the far prayer, his heart filled with gratitude and his mind focused on doing good. But despite his best efforts, life began to throw trials his way. Yasin's father, the breadwinner of the family, fell gravely ill. The family's small shop, their only source of income, began to fail as Yasin spent most of his time caring for his ailing father. The financial burden grew heavy, and soon, the shop was forced to close. Yasin struggled to find work, and as the days turned into weeks, despair began to creep into his heart. One night, after yet another day of disappointment, Yasin knelt down for his Isha prayer, tears streaming down his face. He poured out his heart to Allah, asking why he was being tested so severely. Ya Allah, he prayed, I have tried to be patient, to trust in your wisdom, but my strength is fading. I don't know how much more I can bear. Exhausted, Yasin fell into a troubled sleep. That night, he had a dream. In the dream, he found himself walking through a vast desert, the sun beating down mercilessly. His throat was parched, and his legs felt heavy with fatigue. Just when he thought he could go no further, he saw an oasis in the distance, a small patch of green surrounded by palm trees, with a pool of clear water in the middle. Hope surged within Yasin, and he began to walk faster, his eyes fixed on the oasis. But as he drew nearer, the oasis seemed to move further away, always just out of reach. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get any closer. He felt a deep despair settle over him, and he collapsed to his knees, unable to continue. At that moment, an old man appeared beside him. The man's face was lined with age, but his eyes shone with a deep, peaceful wisdom. My son, the old man said, why do you despair? Yasin looked up at the old man, his voice choked with emotion. I have tried so hard, but no matter what I do, I cannot reach the oasis. I am tired, and I have lost hope. The old man smiled gently. Do you not know, my son, that Allah is always with those who are patient? This life is a test, and each trial is a step on your journey. Sometimes, when you feel you are furthest from your goal, you are actually closest to it. You must trust in Allah's plan, even when you cannot see the path ahead. The old man then placed a hand on Yasin's shoulder and said, remember the story of Prophet Ayub, Job, who was tested with the loss of his wealth, his health, and his family. Despite his suffering, he never lost hope in Allah's mercy. And because of his steadfast faith, Allah rewarded him with more than he had lost. Your trials, too, are a test of your faith. Do not lose hope, for after hardship comes ease. With those words, the old man disappeared, and Yasin woke up, the dream still vivid in his mind. The next morning, he felt a renewed sense of determination. He performed his far prayer with a heart full of trust in Allah's wisdom, remembering the old man's words. Yasin decided to visit the local masjid and seek guidance from the imam. He shared his struggles and the dream he had. The imam listened carefully and then said, Yasin, your dream is a reminder from Allah. The old man's advice echoes the teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who said, amazing is the affair of the believer, for there is good for him in every matter. If he is grateful, there is good for him, and if he is patient, there is good for him. Continue to trust in Allah, for he is the best of planners. Encouraged by the imam's words, Yasin began to approach each day with renewed faith and patience. He started small by offering help to his neighbors, believing that Allah would open new doors for him. Soon, a neighbor who owned a large farm offered Yasin a job. It wasn't much, but it was enough to get by and take care of his father. With time, Yasin's father recovered, and together they reopened the family shop. Business slowly picked up, and Yasin never missed an opportunity to express his gratitude to Allah. He understood now that the trials he faced were a test of his faith, and by holding on to hope and trusting in Allah's plan, he had found his way through the darkness. Years later, Yasin would often share his story with others in the village. He became known for his wisdom and was sought out by those who faced difficulties in their own lives. He would always remind them, no matter how dark the night may seem, the light of dawn will always follow. Trust in Allah, and never lose hope. The moral of the story is that life's trials are tests of our faith and patience. Even when all seems lost, We must remember that Allah is the best of planners, and His wisdom is beyond our understanding. By holding on to hope, trusting in Allah's mercy, and remaining patient, we can find the strength to overcome our challenges and emerge stronger in our faith.